All right, today is Wednesday, the 17th of December, and we are going to do actually 2 lessons, but I'm going to break it up into 2 videos. The first one is a review of exponential functions, all right? So at the top, I'm going to show you what exponential functions look like. If you had to describe to somebody who's never seen an exponential function, how would you describe it? What does the equations look like?
We got the exponent to x.
Uh-huh. The exponent is the x, and you have a y value, and this is called your base. Do you remember the shapes of them?
Really? Yeah.
It's like a, yeah.
It's like
It's like a rocket going down.
It's like half of a parabola,
Right.
and then the other half's like the.
One is called exponential growth, and one is called exponential decay. Do you remember which is which? When you have a growth problem and
Positive
when you
trend.
have a decay?
When A is greater than 1.
When the base, which we call A, if it's greater than 1, it's growth. If it's less, if it's between 0 and 1, like the third one, it's called decay. This is all review, right?
Is that those interest problems where it's like
Mhm.
one, okay.
We're gonna do those in section 5.3.
I'm sad with that.
Okay, so, we are gonna build on stuff we learned from chapter 3, the transformation stuff. We have a parent function. Let's just run through these. If you see a number outside of the base, this is gonna be a shift up or down. Up 2 units, down 3 units. You remember this? What about if you have a number with the x value? This shifts it left or right, the opposite. Remember that? Left or right. So this one would be left 5 units, this one would be right 7 units. What if you see a combo? Well, you're gonna go right 1 and up 4. Do you remember with the negative in front, what it does? It's a reflection over the x-axis and a negative inside, reflection over the y. So quickly, let's go through the back page. We're just gonna do this example. If I asked you to graph f of x is equal to 3 and then raised to the x minus 2 power, the parent function is y equals 3 to the x power. Now, if I asked you to generate a table of values for this, I would expect you to be able to give me numbers like -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and so forth.
Agreed.
So do you remember how to plug a negative number in here? If I plug -2 in here, what do you get? What is 3 to the -2 power? 1 over 9. What is 3 to the -1 power? 1/3. What is 3 to anything to the 0 power? And then 3, 9, 27, and it's going up rapidly. Is this exponential growth or decay? Growth. Because the base is greater than 1. Now, if I'm asking you really to graph 3 to the x minus 2 power. Do you remember what to do with your table of values? It's a shift 2 units right. 2 units right, but do you remember mathematically what you're doing to your table of values? Anyone?
Motions, or are you doing it with one?
You've got 3 to the x minus 2 power. Do you remember what you're gonna do to your table? Add 2 to your what? You're gonna add 2 to these. So if I added 2 here, what do I get?
0,
Add 2, add 2,
2,
add 2, add 2, add 2. So we're graphing 0, 1/9, 1, 1/3, 2, 1, 3, 3. 4, 9 is off the page, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's say it's there. But anyways, here is your graph, and it's basically shifted 2 units to the,
So
Right.
it never touches the x-axis.
well, this one is not going to. You have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 0. Okay? Now, this one, just wanted to let you know, what is the parent function here? It's e. Y equals e to the x power. Do you guys remember what e is? E is Euler's numbers. It's approximately 2.718. So all I want to know is, do you know where the base is 2.718? So if we shifted this graph, y is equal to 2.718 to the x power, how am I going to graph this one? It's going to be the graph shifted 2 units up. Okay? And I'm going to do this one on a calculator to show you what it looks like. Now, when you type this one in, whoops, sorry, that's not an E, second E. You have to put the number 1 in. I'm sorry, not 1. X. Right there. Graph, e to the x power. There it is. Now, what does it look like when it's shifted 2 units up?
The same, but
X. And then plus 2. And the same graph, 2 units up. Okay? All right, now, this one. Let's see how good your memory is. And by the way, this is just A, it's not A and B, this is B. I had a negative there, but I took it
so
out.
then what's C?
C, it goes A, B, C, D, and E for this one.
Can you rewrite that? Because now I'm just like.
We're going to rewrite it right now.
Alright.
How do you rewrite this, you guys? How do you rewrite this? I'm giving you a hint. What did I do with 1/2? Factor it out. Minus what? Minus 2. Now, is this coming back to you? Okay, so this is your A value. Let's list the transformations. What do you do with this A value? Do you remember? Watch, if I give you this problem, it'll come back to you. Remember this?
Vaguely.
What did we do? We took a 1/2 out. Oops, minus 2. Remember the transformations? You flip that, it's a horizontal stretched by a factor of 2, 2 units to the right, reflection over the x-axis, vertical stretch by 3, and 4 units up. Guess what? Same thing. Same thing. So here's your transformations. Start with this. We're going to say horizontal, what?
Stretch by 2.
Mhm. Horizontal stretch by 2. Then what? Next one.
Shift the graph to the right.
2 right. Then what?
Flip over the x-axis.
Reflection over x-axis. Then what? Vertical stretch by what?
Three.
3,
Shift graph.
and then up 4. And you don't need this F, sorry.
Why is there not?
What does
Three.
that say?
I made a
Up
mistake.
one.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember this now? Is it coming back? All right, now, how do you graph this? Well, start off by giving me 5 good parent function points. I would start with, do I do -1 or -2? -2? And then -1, 0, 1, 2. And if you chose to do 3, so 1/4, 1/2, 1, 2, 4, 8. Okay, start off with your parent function. Everyone should be able to do the parent function. Questions, anyone? Now let's do the transformation step by step. What's the first thing you're gonna do? Remember, these two affect the x values, and these two affect your y's. You're gonna flip, go ahead, Nick, flip that. What do you get? 2, and what do you do with that 2?
You're gonna multiply your x values.
You're gonna take your x values and multiply them by 2. Can everyone do that for me? Take all your x values and multiply them by 2. So going down, do you have -4, -2, 0, 2, 4, and 6? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What do I do with my y's?
Leave them the same.
Leave them the same. Okay, so everyone did that. You flip that number and you multiply your x values by 2. Then what are you gonna do?
You're gonna add 2 to your x values.
Very good. You're gonna take those x values that you have and you're gonna add 2. And everybody add 2 to these x values. What do you get? And what do you do with your y's?
Leave them.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the x's are done. Now we move on to the y values. What do you do with your y values? Multiply the y values by -3. So you get -3/4, -3/2, -3, -6, -12, -24. What happens to my x's?
Stay the same.
They stay the same. And the last thing you're gonna do,
Shift your y up 4.
you're gonna add 4 to what? Keeping my x's the same, add 4. You get 3 1/4, add 4, 2 1/2, add 4, add 4, add 4, add 4. What do you do next? What's the last thing you're gonna do? Graph those points. So what's the first point? -2 and up 3 1/4. 0, 2 1/2. 2, 1. 4, -2. And I think 6, -8 is gonna be the last one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can't do anything else. And there's your graph. Questions? Okay, so for this homework assignment, which is on the next page, the first 13 problems came from your book. All you need to do, this should take literally 3 minutes to do. All you're gonna do is talk about the transformation. So for one, what's your transformation? 5
Yep.
down. What's the next one? Reflection over the x-axis. And so forth. And then the last 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, you're gonna do exactly how we just did that last problem. You're gonna put your parent function in here and then do all your transformations. So do it in order, A, B, C, D. Yes?
For the last problem we did, why did you put for C the reflection over the x-axis? Wouldn't it be the y-axis if it's for C?
No, because it was, it would have been like this. It would have been like this, and we reflected it over the x-axis.
Yeah, but we did it on C. Wouldn't that be D?
It goes like this. Remember I said this is wrong. This is A, B, C,
Okay,
And
that
D.
makes sense. Thank you.
yeah, fix those. Originally, I had a negative here, and
So
I
the
wanted you to
two-
reflect it over the y-axis.
So the 2 is nothing then, basically?
The 2 is your parent function. That 2,
Oh, yeah.
that's your parent function. Okay, Ashley, can you stop that?